Yeah.
So I know a lot of people. I was one of those kids who went to grade school, and no, you know my girlfriend. She just goes to a different school. You wouldn't know her. I felt like that last night because I told everyone, if you're listening right now, we were going to have Carl on the air. Life happens. He forgot stuff happened, but I just didn't want all of you out there thinking, yeah, sure, James knows Carl Lumbly. Well, here he is, the man himself,
Absolutely.
Carl. Thanks for
Yes,
your time.
absolutely. Surely, James, and please, I apologize to anyone who was looking for me then, but I'm here now.
That's all that matters.
And so looking forward to joining you this weekend.
Very excited to have you now. I know we've had you on my show. We had you on a couple times with Susan and I,
Yes.
and Michael and Maria and George and all that on the Justice League podcast. I haven't had you all to myself since you won the Danger Man Award and Dr. Sleep had just come out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You've been busy since then. My word.
Yeah.
I don't know how you find the time.
Well, I just expand and let it all go in because I feel really, really grateful and fortunate. And, I think we all have these amazing capacities. So I think for any one of us, when it's something you really, really want to have happen, you can make room for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wore my Captain America shirt tonight since you are Isaiah Bradley, you are Captain America, but I've also got close by my Martian Manhunter figure ready for you to sign when you arrive. So you're so lucky because I know a lot of people get into a fandom and that's their thing, but you've crossed over Marvel, DC, you've done video games, you've got so many fandoms out there in addition to all the other stuff you do. And I know you just recently got back into doing Comic Cons. You hadn't done them for a long time. Right. How have you found coming back to con life? How has it been?
It's been really gratifying. And, I'm, and I know a lot of actors are, I'm somewhat shy. And I also, additionally, I started in stage. So, oh dear, I don't know if you can still hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I started in stage. Okay, I started off in stage. And so I was so used to having the audience actually there present in the room. Right. And when that changed, I think I lost touch when I got to the on-camera side a little bit of a sense of the audience. I had a clear sense of fandom, almost quantitatively, but qualitatively, an audience gives you a lot of information.
Sure.
Just by their presence, but also by the interaction you get to have with them. So these Comic-Cons, I probably have been sleeping on Comic-Con, and I'm fully woke now.
Good, that's what we like to hear, and I know we're very much looking forward to having you here. We did my friend Chef Liz, tremendous individual. She's doing all the food for you in the green room, and she tried to tailor a little bit out in some of the characters. She's got homemade Oreos that she's making since John Jones, Martian Manhunter, loves Oreos. But I'm so excited. Like everyone I've talked to, the Two Rivers Comic Con, it's been built by relationships that I've had now over the past 10, 20, 15, years that people have immediately said, you're doing this, how can I help? And I'm so excited to bring all of you here. It's my first thought was we're doing a Comic-Con Justice League because the love I have for you and for Michael and George and Maria and Susan and Phil. Yeah. It's such an incredible fandom to be part of and having you in that legacy. Now, have you been to St. Louis before?
No, well, a long, long time ago. I used to run cross country and track, and so I remember running there. But no, I haven't visited there in a long, long time. However, I'm really happy to have this bit of reunion with the other Justice Leaguers who will be there, because of all of the things, I think that's been the thing that I've missed the most about not doing the Comic-Cons, is that when we gathered together, it reminded me a lot of what it was like when we recorded, because we were all there in the space and able to, I at least was able to observe and learn from all of those great voice actors. So yeah.
Yeah. It was incredible, especially when they got to Unlimited, the different cast members who were being brought in. You're working with Nathan Fillion and Powers Booth and all these fantastic actors who were used to doing TV, who, from what my conversation with Andrea, she just said, hey, would you like to be part of this? And the word had gotten and how good this was, where no one said no to Andrea, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, well, I think it is, it makes complete sense too, because Andrea is already on your side as soon as you meet her.
Yeah.
So whatever she has to offer or suggest just seems like a good idea for both of you.
Yeah. And the live action stuff you've been doing, I want to talk to you because I was floored by how good The Fall of the House of Usher was on Netflix. It was amazing. And you as Dupin playing opposite Bruce Greenwood, those scenes, just the tension in those scenes. Talk a little bit about filming, because it's such a, you're in this house together. It's just the two of you, a lamplight. He's seeing things. Talk a little bit about filming those scenes. How was the process for that? How did you find it as an actor?
Well, I think, you know, as I mentioned, I started on stage, and for me, it was a cross between like a really incredibly great first table read and and an opening night. The time spent in that room, of course, it was just the two of us with all the crew and everything, but because of the way Mike shoots, we were essentially given that space. And since that space was inhabited by a lot of spirits and a lot of memory and a lot of history between the two of us, it was an ideal kind of situation for simply soaking into the moment, soaking into the history of this character, in and of himself, and also that horrific history that he had with Bruce's character. And I tell you, I think it was a gift for me, because the kind of work that I think it required and involved truly listening, and listening not just to Bruce, but to everything else going on in that room, which could have a bearing on poor Dupin's life, but also listening to the way Mike directs is very offhand and very powerful to me, because you're in conversation, you're talking about, of course, you're dealing with the nuances of the script and the themes of the story, and you know, the particular items that you want to try and get in on your character. But more than anything, you know, he keeps bringing you back to, this is human beings. We are, and so to the extent that we're all individuals, we are all so fantastically alike. And tapping into those sorts of larger ideas about humanity and shrinking them down into a scene like that, I think that was what the joy was for me. So you know, I love it when I leave a project and I feel like I learned so much. I learned so much about what I had to do the project. I learned so much about what I didn't know I had to do before I did it. And I have learned so much about the possibility for what comes next. So I do. I feel very, very fortunate. I feel the Comic-Cons have given me an opportunity not only to hear from the audience, but to say thank you to the audience. Because without the support, and this is, you know, there's one thing to support something for, you know, 1 or 2 seasons, but, you know, this is decades of support, decades of will. And I just feel incredibly grateful. That's been my experience thus far, coming into the Comic-Con world.
Good. Yeah. And I want to ask too, because I know you've got a new movie coming out, and I know you can't say too much about it. Another Mike Flanagan project.
Yes, sir.
And it's The Life of Chuck. This cast is amazing. I almost feel like Christopher Guest has his people he always brings back. Christopher Nolan did that as well. Now you guys are the Flanagan players, because he's always got you, Rahul Kohli, which I adore Rahul. He's such an immense talent. Obviously, Mark Hamill. You've got Nick Offerman doing the voice. He's got a lot of his regulars that he's bringing back.
Samantha, oh my goodness. Yeah, it's oh boy. I feel like part of a company with Mike. And I think that company in Mike's mind, the possibility is every actor in the world could maybe be in that company if he runs across them and they have the family feel.
Yeah.
So that is exciting because I feel wonderful to be included in that. And I also feel very excited whenever I see that he's doing a project, because I want to see who he has with him. This one is the cast. I think is perfect, and I never say something like that. But the reason I'm saying it is because the novella, the short story for this thing is exquisite, and it's the kind of thing that it doesn't answer the question by narrowing it down to focus. It answers the question by expanding it out into the universe and into the universe. It speaks about existential questions that relate to exactly what is going on right now, but also speak to us about possibilities that we already know we have, that we've already lived, that we've already achieved, and that miracle takes place inside each one of us as individuals, and it creates magic in the aggregate. And that's something that I think I'm really proud to be a part of reminding us right now.
You already won the People's Choice Awards at the Toronto International Film Festival with this thing, and a lot of people say that's a precursor to Academy Awards and Golden Globes and things like that. If you get something like that, but just to be in such a great company, to your point, and to have this phenomenal project to work with, and a lot of people think of Stephen King as a horror writer, but when he does these joyful kind of moments these beats you see just in the trailer of this film, nationwide release on June 13th, we should mention. Yes. It's incredible that you really kind of take a step back and you almost view Stephen King in another light after you read this. And I'm sure people will after they see the movie too.
Well, one of the things that I think about Stephen King is the situations may be fantastic, they may be macabre, but those are human beings operating inside them, and they are subject to all of the frailties and all of the majesties that we all have. I think he's brilliant. I have loved being scared to death by him, and I feel like the life of Chuck gives a kind of a permission to be unashamed about being as connected as we can be to one another in this grand and glorious moment of life.
Yeah, well said. I'm excited for people to see the movie, and I know you've got a lot of stuff going on, because I think last time I checked with Robbie Cass, he said, well, Carl's doing a movie, he's doing a couple TV series, so you've got all these things going on. When you're downtime, when you're not doing a Comic-Con like the upcoming Two Rivers, when you're not filming in some cool location overseas or here in the States, what do you do? What's one of your hobbies that people might not know, something you enjoy?
I love shooting baskets. I do. I love it. It's my recreation, but it's also become my meditation. And long after I stopped playing in leagues or playing in school, I've continued to every once in a while play pickup, though not very often. I want my management to know I'm being conscientious about this. I don't want to hurt either, but I will always find a gym or an outdoor park where they have a hoop whenever I'm working, and that's the bulk of my downtime when I'm working. When I want to relax, I generally read, and a lot of my downtime is taken up writing because I want to write. So it's those are the areas where I generally find myself able to take stock and relax when I'm in between having to show up.
And you show up a lot. Like I said, a lot of irons in the fire for you. A very busy guy. I appreciate this time, taking this time to do this one-on-one with me. I really appreciate it. It's
Abs-
always so good to see you, and I'm so excited to bring you to my hometown and have all of you see the sites. You'll be there with Dan Reba and with Susan Eisenberg and Maria Canelsborough, Phil Lamar, and of course, Carl Lumbly as the Martian Manhunter. So excited to see you. If people want to keep up with you online, best social media places, it seems like you're very active on Instagram. Anywhere else at all?
That seems to be where I am. So I would say, yes, go there.
Perfect. We'll put a link to that in the Instagram link down in the show notes if you're listening to this after the fact. Carl Lumbly, a great pleasure to talk to you as always.
Can't wait
to see you in person for the first time. I'm so excited. Thank you.
As am I. Take care, James.
You too. Be well.
Bye-bye.